So it's July, more information is being revealed with some breaking news rocking Phillip Schofield with some shocking fresh allegations. That was just Morale Morale. Hopefully you guys are all doing well today. Back at again with another video. If you have not subscribed, click that button guys. It is daily and consistent content. I would appreciate it. It's just one click. There is a lot going on this Sunday and I'm trying to just get you guys covered with everything. So please do subscribe. I would appreciate it. It is daily and consistent content. Inject it and let's get straight into this. So, the Mail on Sunday are coming out with a horrific story of where Phillip Schofield has actually helped somebody else who was convicted. This is shocking. The victim of a spiteful revenge porn attack carried out by a close friend of Phillip last night accused the TV presenter of an abuse of power after he gave a court statement that may have helped the perpetrator to escape with a lenient sentence. Schofield has rallied against revenge porn continuously on ITV this morning, describing it as a most distressing crime and voicing his sympathy for victims. However, speaking exclusively to the Mail on Sunday, the victim has now branded Schofield a hypocrite for providing a character reference for his friend Ben Perryman, which he said ruined a big part of his life. If you are providing somebody with a character reference, it is you're supporting their character in relation to what they're being questioned about. Perryman, 30, received a suspended 12-week jail term in 2018 after pleading guilty to posting a naked picture of the man whom he was in a tumultuous relationship with for around 6 years. He posted it online to Twitter, and he also sent the images directly to the man's work colleague and bosses in what a judge described as a particularly spiteful and targeted and focused act of revenge. Schofield, 61, who came out in 2020, has repeatedly told the Mail on Sunday in recent weeks that when he wrote the character reference, he did not know what it would be used for. Why on earth would you give a character reference to somebody and have no idea why you're writing it, number one? Number two, nobody writes a character reference and does not ask what it's for. You don't just randomly get up and just do it and send it off because you don't know what it's being used for or utilized for. So this idea that he had no idea that he was using it for his friend who was convicted of something horrific, a crime, of posting stuff without somebody's consent. Okay, but a 3-week investigation by the Mail on Sunday has prized open court documents that reveal now that Phillip Schofield was actually lying and that he knew full well the reference was going to be used by his friend in court. Wow. The judge who sentenced Perryman was reassured by Perryman's barrister that his referees knew he'd admitted the offence. It means that Schofield appears to have once again lied to the newspapers about his relationships with young men. Last night, Schofield said he did not recall being told reference which in terms of what can be used in court, but evidently, guys, he has been lying yet again. Schofield was forced to step down in the morning of during end of May, after he released a bombshell statement to the Daily Mail. Schofield had hosted debates on This Morning with victims of high-profile cases of revenge porn. In 2016, he interviewed 3 female victims, describing their ordeal as truly shocking and distressing. But whilst looking into their eyes, he was also aiding and abetting somebody who was literally putting out revenge porn from somebody else. An absolute liar, hypocrite to our faces. And then not only that, but when being questioned about it, lying to papers continuously until actually court documents had been prized open. So these are fresh allegations of Phillip helping somebody else in abusing his power once again, putting out statements to helping the court. That is what he is doing. So if he's not trying to lure young boys, this is what he's doing as well. Once again, abusing his power and once again being exposed for lies, as the papers are saying. Last night, Perryman's victim, who has asked to remain anonymous and who we have called James, said he believes Schofield's intervention helped Perryman to dodge jail and secure a lenient sentence. I feel like Phillip robbed me of the justice that should have been served for a horrendous crime that someone committed. I was basically told that, yeah, this happened, but it's not that serious, so this is the sentence that you'll get. I had to live through that for a very long time, questioning myself that I overreacted to this. I'm angry at Schofield because it just seems like an abuse of power. I guess I'm a powerful celebrity. I can use my fame to get people off the hook. James was so infuriated at Schofield's behaviour that he considered phoning This Morning to confront him live on air during another TV segment. I honestly wanted to phone up This Morning helpline. However, I do also believe that they're not going to let that happen anyways. There's loads of logistics. They would never let him confront him live on TV. I would love to hear from him about why he thinks it's acceptable that he played so much of a part defending someone's actions, but then can go on and say this is a really bad subject. James, the victim, then a university student, again, extremely young, university, 1918, began seeing Perryman in 2020 and 2012. Their early relationship had a whirlwind intensity, with Perryman moving into James and his parents' home within months. Ben is one of those who you spend an hour with and you're already drawn in, but cracks began to show, etc., etc., etc. They basically just had, a rocky relationship. I don't need to go back and forth. James said he became aware of a third person in the background of their relationship, Phillip Schofield. Perryman had told his boyfriend he was friends with Schofield, who he called his godfather or Uncle Phil, saying he'd met him through one of Schofield's daughters. James said that initially Perryman, who was still living in Liverpool, would see the TV presenter in London around 4 times a year. But the pair would regularly speak using FaceTime or message each other via the Telegram app. In about 2014, Perryman told James that Schofield had invited them both to watch the filming of an episode of ITV's All Stars Mrs. and Mrs., which Schofield presented. He instructed his boyfriend not to speak to his celebrity friend, James claimed. Ben told me I was not allowed to speak to Phil. We were in the back row, which was for friends and family, and I was sat on the very end of the row. Ben was next to me and Phillip Schofield reached over my lap to shake Ben's hand and then greeted everyone else and completely ignored me. After this episode, Perryman had more contact with Schofield, James said. The TV presenter would call his friends on FaceTime during this morning adverts breaks or from holidays in his villa in Portugal. Ben would say things like, "I've got to go to London," but wouldn't tell me why. And when he came back, it would be, "Oh yeah, I went for dinner with Phil." Okay, this is turning really creepy. James and Perryman's relationship finally imploded in December 2017 after James landed a new job in northwest England. James claimed Perryman would wrongly believe that James was cheating on him, and during a shift shortly before Christmas, James sent Perryman a picture of him with a female work colleague in a bid to prove that he was not with another man. This, he claimed, angered Perryman because he believed James was discussing details of the relationship, etc., etc. And then, there was back and forth between them, and, James ended up being in therapy, was devastated, was suicidal, had anxiety issues, informed the police as well that he was posting private pictures without his consent publicly, etc., etc., etc. Wow. So it seems to me that Phillip and Perry have this weird relationship, and that they probably were intimate, I believe, from what it looks like. I'm assuming, I'm not saying it's true. And that, why would Phillip not even greet the victim, James, at that point? Was he jealous? Was he I don't want to talk to you? I'm with Perry in some kind of weird way. Was Perry doing something? Why are you going for, if you're meeting Phillip Schofield through his daughter is your age mate, why are you now going to dinner with Phillip Schofield? It doesn't make any sense to me, guys. Very eerie. Once again, it's not only him, aiding and abetting with character statements and references, it's also now him having some weird relationship with another young individual, let's just say. And evidently the character statement that Phillip wrote worked heavily, because how the hell for revenge porn did he get a 12-week suspended sentence? Wild. Judge Watson said he was no doubt that Perryman's offence crosses the custody threshold. If it clearly crosses the custody threshold, why did he not go to jail? But he highlighted his good character, personal history, which included dealing with being on the autistic spectrum. He added, "I've also read the character references from a variety of people in different fields. You are in fact lucky not to be serving a 12-week sentence straight away." Perryman was also given a 4-year restraining order and an 8-week curfew, during which he had to wear an electronic tag. Phil doesn't realize the impact that writing that statement had on me. It was a total disregard for my feelings, my well-being, everything, which is just a constant of Phil since the beginning of mine and Ben's relationship when Phil became involved. He added, it is almost like he doesn't want to think I exist. I'm not in his life. So for him to write that statement was, I guess, nothing to him. Just like when he met me at Mr. and Mrs., it was nothing to just ignore me like I did not exist. That is the real Phillip Schofield, not the one that we've been watching on TV on This Morning. The real one is from the stories of victims who are speaking out, especially with fresh allegations. This is exactly what the new information must be about that is going to be revealed about him, because this obviously came out today, 8th or 9th of July, that new victims are coming out, saying in their statements, the court documents are being revealed, that investigations are also being done by the Mail on Mail Sunday. So this is what the information must be about when it comes to Schofield. But have we just opened the can of worms? Are there a lot more to come out? What birds are going to grab these worms at this point, I don't know. But it seems that a lot obviously is happening, considering the fact that, you know, Holly is there and Schofield are interviewing all these revenge porn victims, you know, all on This Morning, having so much empathy from them. It is nothing but performative, especially if one of those individuals are aiding and abetting somebody carrying on this crime and then helping them, not really helping them carry on the crime, but helping them getting a reduced sentence for the crime that they have committed. Therefore, you have no respect for the victims. So it is absolutely wild, guys. Like, wild. A spokesperson for Schofield said he does not recall being asked whether his reference would be used at the proceedings. But again, like, court documents have proven that you are a liar. So it is shocking. Absolutely shocking in my opinion. Yeah, wild. It's just literally the definition of a hypocrite, because why would you be doing that? It really doesn't make any sense, guys. It doesn't make any sense. That is a fresh story that has come out. Would it be one of many? We don't know, guys, but subscribe to the channel, click that button. It is daily and consistent content. More news about Phillip Schofield that was breaking that came out today, and I think that the victims should most definitely be listened to, because I feel like they're definitely not. This Phillip and Ben Perryman relationship is very odd to me, and maybe I'll look more into that because it is just very confusing. Subscribe to the channel, click that button, guys. It is daily and consistent content. Subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It's new, fresh content 365 days of the year, and I'll catch you guys soon for another review.